Welcome to Manifest This, Believer versus Skeptic. I'm Sharon, your resident skeptic who asks all the tough questions. And with me is Jennifer Neal, our manifesting maestro. Whether you're rolling your eyes or raising your vibration, we dive into all things manifestation, mindset, and energy from every side. Hit subscribe, settle in, and get ready for spirited debates, surprising experiments, and laughter on the journey to creating a life you love. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's fantastic. So, we are just about there, that smoking time of the year.
I know. I know. So I thought today we could talk about a very real, very timely topic. What happens to your energy and your frequency and your manifestation power when your life is packed to the absolute brim? Too many plans, too many kids' events, too many parties, too many presents to wrap, too many turkeys, too many expectations pulling you in 1,000 different directions. I've been there, you've been there. We're going to talk about that today.
That sounds like overwhelm. And for most people, it's not just too much, it's too expensive and too time consuming and too emotionally draining. For some, it's too guilt inducing. And somehow, we are supposed to manifest a magical life on top of all of that.
But the good news is you can. And today we're going to talk about how.
Always the believer, Jennifer. I love that about you.
Yeah, but I'm practicing alongside all of you too. Like, I need this.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the real reason overwhelm just tanks our frequency. And let's just start with the obvious. People are overwhelmed because they have too much to do and not enough time or energy. So, why does this need to be spiritual?
Well, because overwhelm isn't about the volume of tasks, it's about the vibration behind the tasks. Two people can have the exact same to do list. We see this all the time, right? Two people can have the exact same kids, sports, cooking, job, partner. One is energized and the other one is suffocating.
But isn't that like personality or maybe even your support systems?
Yeah, partly it is. And again, we talked last week about how we play roles, right? But energetically, overwhelm happens when you are living out of alignment and you're living out of alignment with your core frequency. So it's when you're trying to move through your day in a state that contradicts your true identity. Overwhelm is a frequency mismatch more than a scheduling issue. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So, explain the mismatch to me.
Most people are trying to do everything from a frequency of, and I'm guilty of this, right? I have to do it. I should do it. I don't have a choice. It's expected. I don't want to disappoint anyone. So when your actions are fueled by pressure instead of purpose, your energy leaks and it drains you faster than any task will ever drain you. So it's not going to the grocery store that's draining. It's the idea and the thought of how exhausted that will make you because you felt you had to make a meal for so and so. That is the exhausting part.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's something I call shoulding on yourself.
Totally. And we do it all the time.
So basically, the to-do list isn't killing us, the emotional context is.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the hidden message in manifestation when you're overscheduling.
So here's the manifestation piece that people miss. And again, I took me and is taking me still a long time to wrap my head around this. When your life feels too full, it's a sign that the universe is showing you where your boundaries are outdated, or where, again, I like to use the word story instead, where your story is outdated. Overwhelm is feedback. It's information. It's basically the universe saying to you, you've grown, but your choices have not caught up with you yet.
Okay, so it's sort of like your calendar saying, stop saying yes all the time.
Totally, that's what it is. And I'll give you an example. I used to pride myself, and it embarrasses me to say this, but I used to pride myself on the fact that I would have 2, 4, 6, 8 Christmas parties stacked on top of each other in the month of December. And I said yes to all of them.
Oof.
And even if and one night I had 3 on the same night, and guess what? I made it to all of them. That was my ego. right? Saying yes when you want to say no is a frequency issue. I didn't have the confidence or the sense of self to maybe pick the best one or the one I really wanted to attend and let the others go. So it's alignment, it's not approval. It's embodiment. It's not obligation. And I have been guilty of the approval part and the obligation part 1,000%.
Let's be clear, some things are non negotiable. So you can't say no to cooking a meal that your kids might expect, or buying the gifts, or going to the recitals, or all those things. There are some things you sort of have to do.
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of life, the answer is there's nothing you have to do. Nothing.
Okay.
But the question becomes, how can I do these things if I feel I need to do them? Like, let's face it, if you're at the end of your rope and you can't make your kids' piano recital end of year, sometimes something has to go. I
Right.
know as a mother, I wouldn't want to do it, but listen, if you're about to lose your marbles, maybe it has to go. So, but here's the easier part. How can I do the things I have to do without abandoning my energy?
Right.
Okay. So, because manifestation is not about eliminating responsibility, it's about protecting your frequency while you handle responsibility. Let's focus there.
Okay. Like that sounds a lot more realistic, because I can imagine if you miss your kid's piano recital, either you're going to be in therapy or your kid's going to be in therapy.
Probably,
So
which
you
is a
sort of have to
shame.
do it.
Right, which is a shame that we do have put that pressure on ourselves, but yeah, so how do we keep our frequency stable when life is not? There are 3 micro practices that can shift your entire holiday season energetically for the good,
Okay.
okay? So, number 1, try to do things from choice, not pressure. So before every task, ask yourself, how would the aligned version of me choose to show up here? Even if you have to do it, you can still choose the energy that you bring.
Okay, so again, we're kind of getting into that reframing instead of resisting.
Exactly, like, as we talked about last session, a new Christmas Eve that you've never had before in 22 years, and it's not what you want. Resistance will drain you more energetically than action ever will, so how can you turn it around to feel good about it?
Do you think we spend a lot more time thinking about it than we actually necessarily need to? And sometimes it's just making the choice?
Yeah, totally. Again, it's like it's that awareness piece. Once you realize that you've got your knickers in a knot, as my mom would say, you've got your knickers in a knot about this thing, make a different choice. Think a different thought,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, what's your next tip here?
Micro presence. And I mean presence as in your ability to stay focused on something, not presence and is as in what Santa Claus brings. Instead of thinking about the 400 things left to do, focus on the one thing you're actually doing.
Okay.
Okay. Wrap one gift, make one dish, attend one event. Just do it. Like, this isn't just come at Christmas. Sometimes we all have a day that is so overwhelming or a week that is so overwhelming, we're not sure how we're going to get through it. Just get up the next day. That's what I say to myself. Just get up the next day and do one thing in front of the next. Right?
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And I will say that when I just do one thing at a time, I'm fine. It's
Totally.
mentally the juggling that starts to kill me when I'm trying to do 15 things at once. And I'm a person who, like, if I'm doing something, I'm hyper focused. So if somebody is pulling me in another direction or asking me to do something else at the same time, or firing questions at me, I get really frustrated, because I get hyper focused on the one thing I need to do, and I don't like to be pushed off that track. So I can see how doing the one thing at a time would help me substantially.
Totally. Like, mental multitasking lowers your frequency instantly because you're no longer focused on the task at hand. Or like, this isn't new to anybody. Thinking in the forward future is anxiety inducing, and thinking from the past is always depressive. If we can stay right here, right now, in what we're doing right now, you will find joy there. I promise you.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on a second. What I just heard you say is it's now not just overwhelm to control the overwhelm, but it's also to find the joy in it.
Yeah. Well, it's the byproduct. If you and I stay on this podcast right now and we're so fixated on each other and on the conversation and we're following along and we will find joy. But if I'm looking at my calendar in between lines with you, in between conversation with you, and I'm looking at that next 11 o'clock appointment that I got to get to, and I've only got 15 minutes, I'm no longer am I joyful. I'm now stressed out.
Will give you one caveat in all of this, and
All right,
that
what is it?
is if you're having the podcast with me, it's perfectly okay to pet the cat.
Okay, fair enough.
You can
Fair enough.
multitask
But that's
the
an
cat.
energy regulator. That's an energy regulator.
Okay, so give me the next thing, the 3rd suggestion.
So often we sit in that multitasking rumination and we actually never get on with it. So, number three is regulate and take action. Take 20 seconds, literally take 20 seconds to breathe before doing anything that feels heavy. It's a frequency reset. We're going to do it right now. Okay. Everybody that's listening, I want you to breathe in for 4. I want you to hold for 4. I want you to exhale for 4. I want you to hold for 4. It's called box breathing. Let's do it together because you might need it over the holidays. Ready? Breathe
Okay.
in for 4 and hold for 4 and exhale for 4 and hold for 4. How do you feel?
Like I'm 4 seconds short because
That's called
that was
that is
only
called
16.
That's called a box breath. You can use it anytime. You make a 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, make a box. Think of it as you're doing it. 4 up, 4 across, 4 down, 4 across. It will get you out. So 20 seconds to breathe before you do anything that feels a little bit heavy. Like maybe you have to tell someone that you can't make it to their Christmas party, or maybe you have to let down the PTA because you can't make the cookies. Like just take a breath.
Mhm.
That is a frequency reset.
Okay, great. So let's look at the holiday identity conflict next. So, one thing I see is people, as we've discussed before, feel obligated to play roles that they've outgrown: the hostess, the glue of the family, the perfect gift giver, the fixer, or the one who remembers everything.
Totally. Identity conflict is a huge frequency disruptor. And every time you step into an outdated identity or an identity that you think you should have, your energy collapses a little. And I'm going to give you an example. I have this magical romantic idea that there you go about your shoulds, that I should wear a certain dress on Christmas Day. So I actually saw this dress, a Banana Republic dress. This girl looked so super cute and she was pulling a Christmas tree with this plaid dress on. And so when I was in Vegas on the weekend, I pulled my boyfriend into Banana Republic to take a look at this dress. In my head, it was the quintessential Christmas dress. And my boyfriend turned to me and said, "Jen, you're way too hot for that dress."
What?
And I went, "Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that," because I was trying to be this virginal Norman Rockwell, thought that I should be pulling that off on Christmas Day when really, I wanted to wear sequins. Sequence is what I meant. Identity conflict is a huge, and if I would just own who I am and what I like and what I want to wear, I wouldn't fall out of my energy all the time.
Okay, so how do you deal with that? You just can't stop being the responsible one.
No, I don't think you stop the role. You just stop the version of the role that drains you. And really, it's about understanding who you really are.
Okay. So give me a couple of examples.
So, for example, I host because I love creating a space is different from I host because no one else will. And if I don't do it, nobody else will do it.
Okay, that's pretty
Okay.
powerful.
Yeah, it's huge. For example, I had a Christmas party. We hosted a Christmas party for 40 people on Saturday night. 2 weeks prior to that, I had a girls' night of 15 women here. And we're having another dinner party this Friday night for some very special friends. And my friend said to me, "You really love to host, don't you?" And I said, "You know what? I do. And yes, it's tiring, but I love it.
And it gives you
Right?
energy.
Gives me energy." So, same action, different identity, different frequency.
So it's really about embodying a version of yourself who can hold the responsibility without losing yourself in it.
Exactly. And we all know people that are putting something on because they feel they have to or they should. We can feel their energy.
Right.
We know they didn't want to do it. We know they didn't want to host it. We know they're just doing it out of obligation. And
Yeah.
that feels shitty for everybody.
True. Okay. So how about rest? Because I think rest is a superpower.
Totally.
Nobody's
Rest is
resting. Nobody's
It
rest
is.
December.
Rest is not a luxury, though. It's an energetic strategy, right? So we all know how important sleep is. We all know when we don't get it, how it affects us in our day. Rest keeps your receiving channel open. When you're exhausted, your frequency drops into survival mode. And survival mode can't attract abundance, ease, or clarity.
Okay, but what if someone legitimately doesn't have time?
Then they need to micro reset or rest, not major rest, maybe. So here's some micro rest examples: sitting in your parked car for 60 seconds before going inside to the shops.
And don't lose it if someone is hooting for you to get out of that spot.
That happened to me yesterday. Who cares? Right? You're right. Close your eyes. Maybe also you can close your eyes between tasks. Maybe you can take slow breaths or do the box breath we just talked about while you're waiting for water to boil. Like, take those moments. They're already in your day.
Okay,
Maybe you drive without music and allow some peace and
okay.
quiet.
That's interesting.
Maybe you put your phone down for 2 minutes. Or, one thing I love to do, light a candle, put on some Christmas music while you're wrapping the heap of gifts that you have to. Make it joyful.
Mhm.
Rest is not the absence of activity. That's never going to go away. It's about the presence of ease.
And here's the other thing that I would say, because I like a little bit of physicality in what I
Yeah.
do. So going for a walk, nature is always good. In my part of the world, I might walk on the beach. In your part of the world, with all that snow outside your window, that lovely evening where it's kind of dark and the snow is fresh, and you can hear that light crunch and feel the snowflakes on your face and your nose and your eyelashes is also a moment as well.
Yeah, for sure. Take the moments where you can. Find the joy.
Okay, so how do you manifest what you want even when you're overwhelmed? This is where you come in.
So, and as constantly say, I am a work in progress as well, but manifestation still works when you're busy if you stay emotionally aligned.
Okay,
Okay.
tell me more about that.
So here's the formula for that: anchor into your desired identity. Say to yourself, who do I want to be this season? Who do I want to, or maybe who am I becoming? Who handles this season with ease? Who am I on the other side of this? Ask yourself who you want to be.
Okay. That's interesting.
Uh,
Who am I on the other side of this? So this is part of
yeah.
the forward looking into the new year. How did it all go? That sort of
Yeah.
thing we do at the end of business projects, right?
We talked about this. Write the letter to Santo. How do you want this season to go? Who do you want to be?
Yeah.
How do you want to feel? What do you want to do?
Okay. What's the
Okay.
next tip?
I would say, let your action be guided by frequency, not by panic. So a calm 30 minutes of action is way more powerful than 3 frantic hours.
Right. Okay.
And what I find is when if I look to my right now, I see an awful lot of presents that need to be wrapped and we're jumping on a plane on Sunday.
Right.
But what I do is I compartmentalize them for one person and I take 10 minutes and I knock that wrapping off and then I go do something else.
I have to say, as someone who hosted Christmas, I always also looked for shortcuts and hacks because I'm never going to make the perfect turkey. So I'll order one already made.
Perfect.
I appreciate that there are additional costs sometimes around some of the hacks. And some
Yeah.
of the hacks are things that you can do that, don't cost you any money. But, you know, do you need that extra side today?
That's a great point. And I'll tell you, I used a hack at Thanksgiving this year where instead of cooking a turkey, I just bought a turkey breast.
Yeah.
And I bought it from Loblaws. Like, it didn't go to the butcher. So there are hacks available if we will wrap our Norman Rockwell heads around it,
Right. And
right?
maybe even too, some of it is just making sure that Christmas looks different sometimes. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
does it have to be that big turkey dinner, or, is everybody okay if we order in Chinese this Christmas and just do it?
Totally. But there's even still another answer there, which would be my number 3, is like, decide that you get to have both.
Okay.
Decide that, and this is the manifestation shift. So what? You're busy. We're all busy, right? But decide that you get to be busy and abundant as well. Decide that you get to show up for your family and you get to stay regulated. Make these intentional decisions. Maybe you get to create the magic without the self sacrifice all the time.
Okay.
So much of this is in our head. Your energy doesn't have to collapse until you decide that it has to.
So that's the part I think that everybody struggles with. believing that they're allowed to take care of their dreams while taking care of everyone else.
Totally. Like, listen, we all have martyrs in our life. I'm sure we've been martyrs in life. Like, nobody likes a martyr. So by saying, you don't necessarily have to choose between chaos and calm, you can manifest choosing between both of those worlds. It's just you don't have to choose. You just integrate.
Okay, so any sort of last thoughts you might have for us?
Listen, if you're listening to this and you're feeling stretched thin and you're feeling pulled in every direction, or like every December is eating you alive, and I have been there, I can't say I'm there anymore, really. Know this, your frequency has much more influence than your calendar. Okay.
And you're allowed to make those changes if you need to.
1000%. The season doesn't need a different version of your schedule. It needs a different version of your energy.
And I think, Jen, on that note, it's the perfect way to end the holiday season for us and wish everybody a wonderful Christmas, some great times, whether you're with people or not, to truly enjoy yourself and take a moment for yourself. And we wish you all the best for the holiday season.
Happy Christmas, happy holidays, everybody, to one and all. And next week, we're going to start talking about the new year.
Thanks for tuning in to Manifest This Believer versus Skeptic. If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it with a friend, believer or skeptic. And don't forget to leave us a review so others can join in the debate. Plus, check out Jennifer's TikTok account, Manifestation RX, where she writes daily prescriptions for manifesting your dreams. Think practical tips with a dash of magic. We love hearing your questions and stories, so tell us what you're manifesting or questioning this week. Until next time, keep an open mind and maybe manifest a little magic.